It's a few of those.
It's a few. Oh, can we play this clip from the Abraham Lincoln explaining the real story behind the slavery situation?
Yes.
All right, let's play this.
The myth is that Lincoln freed the slaves, but Lincoln says in 1860 and 1861, it is a lie and a slander that we have any intention to abolish slavery in the slave colonies of the South, in the slave states of the South. This is just a lie, he says. So why does it happen? Well, it happens because, as W.E.B. Du Bois puts it in his great book, Black Reconstruction from 1935, the slaves took matters into their own hands. 500,000 of them fled from the South, withdrew their labor from the Confederacy, found their way to Union lines, and Lincoln's generals are going, what do we do with these people? What's our policy? And initially the policy was return them to their masters. But they refused to go back. They came in such numbers that this wasn't viable. And a few of the more radical Republican generals said, I'm not returning them. They were defying Lincoln, but they were defying Lincoln because enslaved people were forcing the issue. And ultimately, 200,000 of these self-emancipated black men find their way into the Union Army and Navy. Women serve as cooks and as spies. We often forget that the great Harriet Tubman, who had led a series of raids to free family members and then to free non-kin fugitives, was the most accomplished spy for the Union Army. Lincoln eventually provided a pass which said, Harriet Tubman can go wherever she wants, because the point is, she could provide intelligence to the Union Army that no one else could provide. So this was a movement of self-emancipation. Enslaved people forced emancipation on the Union, on President Lincoln, through their own militancy, their resistance, and their mass flight from the South.
Okay, interesting bit of history. It's been well documented, I think, that Abraham Lincoln was not like a slavery abolitionist. He had no real problem with slavery. It wasn't necessarily like he was a real proponent of it, but it wasn't a top priority for him. It wasn't like I'm on a moral. I think that's how it was positioned. That's how it was taught to us, at least in school, was that Abraham Lincoln freed the slaves because Honest Abe, he was the most honest person. And when he traveled 6 miles when he was a kid to give back $5. You ever remember that story?
Oh, that's bullshit.
Propaganda. So Honest
Going back
Abe,
to narrative, yep. Honest
Abe, it was just didn't sit right with his spirit that black people was enslaved, and he was on a crusade to free the black people. That's cap, allegedly. It's political. It was political, like everything else in politics. It's political. It's political.
It's economics.
It was a political move to hurt the Confederacy. But more importantly, what this video highlights, it was a political move that was kind of forced upon him. They really had no choice at a certain point, and it was like, okay, but why is that important? Because narratives are important. If you can paint people as helpless, like the way that this situation has been painted for so long is that a white man, going back to white Jesus, a white man gave black people salvation, when the white man actually is the person that actually enslaved black people. And so what that psychologically does to black people is say that you're inferior, you need us to help you,
even in your freedom.
You're not strong enough to stand up. That's why the Haitian Revolution is not taught and celebrated and made movies about.
Yep.
They never want
economic sanctions still.
Right? They never want the idea that black people can take their own freedom, can do for themselves, can do without asking demand, right? It's not a peaceful march. It's none of that. Like, that's what they feel comfortable pushing. Peaceful march. I have a dream. The Emancipation Proclamation. That's a safe. All of that is safe. Black Panthers, that's dangerous. This story, that's dangerous. Like Nat Turner, That's dangerous.